Thank you, Gina. So guys, I couldn't I wouldn't feel good, but this is Friday, 5 days after my amazing partner, assistant, everything to me came back from maternity leave. She's a first-time mommy, but she's just my hero. She's an incredible woman, incredible wife, incredible daughter. Uh, and so I want she if you want to know where Gina is, she's the one that looks like a picture of me right now. A picture of me. That's my assistant Gina on my
Hi,
side.
everyone.
Gina is incredible, guys, and she's the one who built the website RGT Resources and continues to monitor it and handles all the backroom stuff and a million other things. So if I wish for you anything in your real estate besides business, besides success, is that you find your own Gina. Um,
Thank you. I
and
love you back.
she was right under my nose the whole time. She's grew up with my kids. I've known her since she was 12. She's going to be 31 in a week or so, right,
Oh my
Gina?
gosh.
Is it 31 or 32 now?
31.
31. Wow. So, anyway, so I've known her since she was just a little girl. Her mom, her dad, her older sister, all friends of the family. So, just wanted to, if I had a band and she were the drummer, I would want you guys to give her a standing ovation. So,
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
she's the drummer of my band. So, all right. So this is the email I sent out to you guys for today's call, and today's call is not going to be near as long as the last two, and but we did spend a lot of time talking about different styles of door knocking, why we door knock, what's the intention behind door knocking. What I'd like to do, I'm going to come back to this, but so I can see more of you, not share my screen, is talk a little bit. I've had a lot of actually people call me and say, "Oh my gosh, I missed those calls, but I actually watched the recording." I normally don't get a lot of calls, maybe a text here and there going, "I'm watching this old recording of this." I think that Gina, I want to thank her again because she's the one who decided that all those recordings, instead of being links, Zoom links, they are now YouTube recordings. And again, the website RGT Resources, I'll put it in the chat for you guys, but it's the one thing that's really driving this. And uh, this, I'm sorry, I can't type and speak at the same time. It's driving this little class, the Friday coaching call, but there's a lot of other stuff that it's going to start going on YouTube, and so that we can just help more people, which helps us. Like the more we hear back from people, we go, "Oh, that's a good thing. I'm not doing that. I could do that." That kind of thing. So, um, so I want to say that understanding more of what you want and what you're getting and what you're not getting. I did, like I said, I thanked a lady named Regina Zabarte for saying, "Okay, Rick, we've had enough mindset stuff for a while. Let's talk about actual what can I do to sell more homes." Now, I'm not coaching so much anymore for money as I am coaching people. And as I hear the different things they're doing and not doing, it's surprising to me. I was talking to a lady the other day, and she's struggling, and she's married to a guy who's been a dentist for a ton of years, and they have a database of 6,000 people. And I said, "What do you mail?" And it's her husband, and she's in charge of the office. Hi, Colin and Cheryl. So she's in the office a lot, and she helps manage the office. And I said, "Don't you send out like reminder postcards?" I said, "What if you sponsored the reminder postcards?" I go, "You're sending them anyway. It's your husband's money is sending them out. And you can just make them, your reminder postcard is sponsored by your dentist wife, who's a realtor." Like there's no there's no rules on what to do. I love that I've shared with you guys about Sarah McReynolds before, when she created the business card that said, for her husband, who is working at an Air Force base, and everybody would come to him and say, "Oh, Colin, you look so damn cute." All right. But her husband works at an Air Force base, and everybody was asking him stuff. And so Sarah and I collaborated one day, and we decided, let's come up with this card that on one side just says "Ask my wife." So any question he'd hand her the card, and she wasn't even licensed yet. So we didn't have like realtor on the other end, but she said, I can just start getting these people and start it to be a habit that if they need anything, they'll ask me. That way, if I'm the resource for everything, I'm certainly going to be the resource for real estate. Now, I don't know, Sarah, if you're still using that, but it was really effective in the beginning, wasn't it? Right? So I think that that's like, you can have shameless plugs in real estate and it's okay. And if you're not getting shameless plugs, then you need to get more of them. But I do, that's just kind of a side conversation right now. Let's talk about, like, obviously, if she went door knocking with that, she could change the cards that would say, instead of saying ask my wife, she'd say just ask me, right? Just ask me. There's so many simple things. When I used to, which we didn't talk a lot about in the last two calls, was what are you dropping off that would encourage? So I have a friend of mine who's studying to get her license. She came, she was, can I have flyers from your last house that you sold? And I'll just go pass them out. So I wrote a handwritten note on it. I go, this one sold for 200,000 over asking. This one sold for 250,000 over asking. And she took, so I got 3 phone calls of pissed off people. 3 phone calls saying, you dropped this flyer off at my house, and that property is sold, because it has a sold sign on it. It's not closed yet, and I'm like, yeah, it was just letting you know that it sold for, 250,000 over asking. And it doesn't say that on her. So I called her up. I'm like, I thought you were going to put something on the flyer that said that, right? So, but one of the things that I encourage people to do, hi ladies, good to see you. One of the things I encourage people to do is to use the words, just these words. Think about how simple this is. I know. So for instance, Teresa, you have that listing you had in Livermore that's sold. Is it closing soon, I think?
Yeah, yesterday. Yes.
Right. So whatever the name of that development is, you say, like, there's an area that I grew up in called Glenmore. I'm going to use that since I can't think of the name of the development right now.
Amber.
So when I would walk and drop at the top of the 8.5 by 11, like, these are not expensive things. I didn't go to a printer. I just made them on my computer. It says, I know Glenmore, exclamation point. Like, that's a statement, guys. So if you're walking a neighborhood, I know this neighborhood, right? And just saying that, if they never got to meet you because they didn't answer the door, or you were walking and dropping instead of walking and knocking, they're going to go, I don't know Jerry, but Jerry seems to know Glenmore, right? So those are some of the things you can do when you're door knocking. We have Renee Calloway on here, who's from the Brentwood, Northern California area. And Renee is an incredible lender. And one of the things that I love about her, she's very proactive, working with her realtors to have a good life, to do better. And like, I would be saying, hi, Robert. I would be saying, hey, Renee, if I'm working with Renee, hey, Renee, do you want to come door knocking with me? Right? Because what if Renee got them into a discussion about refi, right? Now you've done an item of value because you've brought them a service provider for something they were looking for. So people door knock with lenders. They door knock with a fellow real estate agent. There's nobody you can't door knock with, right? I was talking to somebody during the week, and I shared this with you before. I shared it with you last week, that they compete. Even though they share all the business they get from door knocking, they each take one side of every street, and at the end of the street, they go, how'd you do, right? And sometimes they use the fact that they're competing against as a comment at the door of the seller. Hi, Mr. and Ms. Seller, I'm a real estate agent. We're walking around the neighborhood today to let people know that the listing around the corner just sold with 5 offers. 5, do you know what that means? No, it means that there's 4 other buyers right now still looking for homes in your neighborhood, and there's no one here. And then they stop for a minute, and you go, by the way, see that lady walking over there? I have to beat her. I have to get more leads than she does. Help me out, right? Like that kind of stuff. And you know, when that, like, how do we know that that works? Because for years I traveled the country with Keller Williams Realty speaking, and we would, in our classes, like we're talking about a whole day class, right after lunch, we'd suddenly stop, and we would almost embarrass everybody in the class to having to sit down right then, like in the class, get out, go in the hallway, and make calls for 20 minutes. And we would tell them, use any script you want, but the one that works best is, hi, Tom, it's me, Rick. I'm currently in a class. They asked us to step out. Huge competition. Who can get those referrals, leads, or appointments in 20 minutes? Help me out, man. And you would be surprised. People would come back 20 minutes with 5 appointments or a referral, or it was crazy. And we were tallying the leads all over the country. There was me and 5 other trainers doing this, guys, and it worked amazingly well. Do you have to be in a class where somebody tells you to do this to say, hey, I just got out of a class and we're being challenged to get the most number of referrals in 20 minutes? Say it. You have to remember the DISC, the behavioral style. We talked about it before. 69% of the public are S's and 11% are I's. That's 80% of the human public is going to want to help you do your favor. Behaviorally, that's it. It would feel horrible to them to say, no, I'm not going to help you with your stupid little contest. There's 3% of the public that would say that. Those are the high D's. In fact, they wouldn't just say it. They wouldn't say it. They just hang up. A contest? Really? Get lost. Okay. So the reason I say this is that this is the time right now. I've been talking to people in Florida. I've been talking to people in Minnesota. I've been talking to people in Oklahoma, a few of them. There's a few on here. There's one here from Michigan. But the reason I'm saying that is there's all these people out there that are telling me, Rick, remember in May when you said inventory was starting to grow? I'm noticing it, right? Casey is very involved in my life and business, but she never wants to sell real estate again. She sold it for 4 straight years, 4 full years she sold real estate, and she doesn't want to do it anymore. But I grabbed her, I made her not look at her phone in May, and I said, pay attention, this is important. I'm telling you right now that the market is starting to shift effective now. We were at the beginning of the 3rd week of May, and it has, but not so dramatically that it favors any one thing, but certainly the conversation to a seller should be, even if you weren't thinking of selling, but selling might be something that's good for you, this is the time to do it. Okay? And we can no longer say, not that I've seen, that this is the absolute highest you're going to ever get. Now, there's still pockets, right? We made an offer for a client. The house was listed for 2.2. And, you know, you see this, but this one went for 2.9. My clients offered like 2.6. It's still kind of insane and crazy in some pockets, but I can see other pockets where the number of days on the market are growing, or there's more inventory and that kind of thing. So those are the main thing that I want to say is, when you are door knocking, whether you're doing it, remember we talked immediate gratification or delayed gratification. Immediate gratification is more circle door knocking. I just sold a house around the corner. I'm door knocking 100 doors around to see if I can get a listing appointment or a buyer lead. Simple, immediate gratification. But if I'm going to door knock for a farm once a month, or once, regular farming, geographic farming is once a month, and then relationship farming that we talked about in the first week, that would have been the call, ladies and gentlemen, 2 weeks ago. That would have been a good one to watch. The idea of relationship farming is very easy to do and very simple to incorporate into your regular life, okay? So, but I did want to say the biggest question is, what do I leave? What do I take? You know, whatever you're taking, you're leaving behind. I found, I'm in my Fremont office today, and I found these. Don't make fun of how black my hair is. But so these were the long pads. Shut up, Cheryl. So these were the long, I'll show you guys the picture. See those? I had the gangsta lean. I was kind of leaning over in the picture like I was going to fall. Anyway, Patrice, you're laughing at me. I can see you. Oh, thank you there, Cheryl, for showing that to me. But these were long pads. Look, Good Real Estate was the first company I was with in 1980. Contempo Realty was in the 1990s. But I would take these, I would just have a stack of these. I'd throw them in a bag, put the bag over my shoulder. And then at every door, if they answered the door, they got a pad. And if they didn't, I'd write on the cover of the pad, sorry, I missed you. Let's talk sometime. And then I'd leave the pad. Okay. Still a very effective way to door knock. You know, only if I was doing it now, I'd say, sorry, I missed you. Market's super hot. Call me if you want to talk. Right? It takes a second, but man, and these things are pretty cheap, guys, if you order these. So all kinds of things you could do. It was really big back in the day when I was new. Yep, pens. Thank you, Cheryl. But you know what? I remember my uncles used to have piles of these jar openers. They were just a big piece of plastic that had their name, but if you put it on the top of a jar and open the jar, it was easier to do because of that jar opener. They had those. They had like everything you can imagine. I had a title person drop off something I didn't even, I don't think I even knew what it was. It was, let's see. Oh, there it is. Can anybody tell me, like, this is from North American Title, and this is what it looks like on the other side. Does anybody know what this is? Could somebody tell me? Yes, Cheryl, come off mute.
It's a business card holder, or appears to be.
It's a business card holder?
It's a kidney pad.
A kidney pad? Are you guys shitting with me right now? This is a business card
Jewelry
holder?
box? Jewelry bag?
Nothing moved. There's no slots. There's just these little slots right here, but these aren't slots. These are just, I'm going to, of course, call the title rep and say, okay.
It's for cords.
Ah,
You can
is
tuck
it?
the cords underneath the strap.
Ariel, I love that. I see what you mean now. That's a good idea. Yeah. And then you can just roll it up like this, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that. Now I won't call her because
You look like a rock star because you know what it is now.
yeah.
Couldn't tell what it
That's
was.
the kind of thing I'm talking about is little gadgets, pens. I'm really big on the pens. I just have never, thanks Cheryl, but I've never taken the pens out and given them a door knocking. But here's what I want to know. I want you to remember, people do read the stuff that oh, there you go. What a show off, Cheryl. Where are you physically, geographically?
I'm here with Cheryl Lister and Colin just in the other office.
Oh man, the majority of the call is Oklahoma today. Okay, so the reason I say this is I used to think people didn't read what you dropped off, but they actually do. And I said this on a call a few weeks ago, but people are actually opening mail at a higher rate than ever because they're getting so little mail because everything's gone digital. Now, I'm not saying that because I know that. I was told that by somebody in that marketing industry that if you, and I've noticed it, my mailbox went from having tons of crap in it over the last 15 years to 2 or 3 things. Now I notice Valpak is back in big strength, like it's come back where you open up a bunch of coupons. So I want you to be thinking this all has to do with the whole concept of door knocking and what are you taking? What are you leaving? Is it an item of value? So the one thing I do say is you should, if you're walking once every 3 weeks, like we talked about on relationship farming, you should not, in my personal opinion, in my humble opinion, IMHO, you should not be leaving comps every single time. You should be doing comps once every second or third time because, all right, enough already. My house value didn't change in 2 months. Bring me something else. How about a community calendar? Just print it up. You can find it online. Most home warranty companies, you guys, most have a free newsletter online that you can customize and print up, black and white. Boom, right? So you can take that with you and drop it off. I know that writing one is great. I just don't respect the uselessness of the time in trying to create one. Yes, many of you go, oh, I'm really good at that. I don't care. You should be spending your time talking to people about buying and selling houses, not doing creative stuff like that. And know your strengths. You know, if it is one of your strengths and you say, okay, I'd rather do that, then I'll spend some time, that's fine. But the words I know, or announcing the neighborhood, or remembering the floor plan. And, you know, if we talk about door knocking, and I said this before, but I want to reiterate it, is finding the people. I just listed a house in a neighborhood that I've listed hundreds of houses in. It's the neighborhood I grew up when I was much younger, before we got into my teens and my parents moved to a nicer neighborhood. And I list the house. I was referred the client. I list the house. The lady's lived in it since it was brand spanking new, 58 years. She's got all of the builder booklets and everything from when they built it, the floor plans. I'm like, can I have those? And she goes, absolutely. Like, that's the kind of stuff you want to get. That way, when you go to a listing of somebody that maybe owned the house for 10 years, think about how impressed they will be of you because you knew the name of the floor plan when it was built, who was the builder. And you're not going to do that on all of them. But like today, I've got a listing in a city that I used to own a Keller Williams office in. All right. But you know what I did? What's the square mileage of the city? What's the population of the city? Like I wanted to know everything before I went there because the lady lived in the house that I'm going to a listing appointment today for 45 years. So I'm sure that if I sound like I know and love the town that it's in, that it's going to be a bonus point because the guy that's my competition, I've already been told, lives right down the street, been a realtor in that area for a long time. But I'm definitely up to the task of beating out any realtor that's lived right down the street from you any time of the day. I get it. Great. I don't. I learn a lesson. All right. So yeah, it's really, really important that when you think about door knocking, whether it's circle door knocking for immediate gratification or relationship farming or geographic farming for, relationship farming and geographic farming are for delayed gratification. Circle door knocking is for immediate gratification. So I'm going to tell you make more money with delayed gratification than any because it's going to be a consistent thing over time and it will pay off. Okay, I promise you that. All right, so I'm going to stop right there. Questions, thoughts, ahas, comments, anything that I can help with? Okay. All right. So
What if you don't like door knocking?
okay, who said that?
June Jardine.
Hi, June. How are you, sweetheart?
Good, thank you.
Okay, you're on an iPhone, so I'm changing your name from iPhone to June.
Oh, yeah, they called me iPhone this morning.
June Jardine. Okay, good. All right, I renamed you. Okay, so you don't like door knocking. That's wonderful. Remember when I started this series, I said we're going to talk about different things until you find something that's the least amount of uncomfortable that'll force you to do it, right? At some point, you got to do something. So if the exercise appeals to you and you don't want to door knock, door dropping will work, but with less consistency than door knocking. Okay. Door dropping will work. Now, if what that is simply you're just walking up and dropping it. And then I encourage you to do it on days when I don't think Patty is on here, Patty Recupero from my team, but she did it Leslie too from my team did it successfully recently where they just walked and dropped, but they walked and drop on times when they specifically knew that there'd be people out in the driveway, a nice 80-degree day, a Friday afternoon, a Thursday afternoon, a Saturday morning, people washing their car, more people to bump into and have a conversation, even if you're chicken to knock on someone's door. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. So, well, wait, I'm not done, June. I got
Oh, okay.
talk about this. But no, the reason I say that is because I could say, all right, let's go home then and get to our title company and have them run the area, pull out 100 phone numbers. I'll pay the money, maybe 70, 80 bucks, get my phone numbers and start making calls. Totally good. I would rather have that face-to-face, especially if it's not too far from my house, right? I'm going to walk anyway. Okay. Now we're in the middle of rebranding. We're coming out. I didn't share it with you guys. I don't share all the stuff that happens, but we had taken a $1.6 million listing, not really a big deal in the town that we took it in. And the seller called and said, get your ugly ass sign out of my lawn or we'll fire you. I didn't tell you that, Teresa? I thought I told you about that. So in other words, they were going to fire us because my sign was so ugly. And I had rebranded 2 or 3 times in the last like 10 years. Okay. And so obviously this one I rebranded unsuccessfully. Who's your guest, Sarah?
This is Amber. She
Hi,
is my
Amber.
new teammate.
Hi,
Oh,
nice
hi,
to meet
Amber,
you.
nice to meet you. Is she with you in the business?
Yes, she's my buyer's agent on my team now.
Nice. Okay. Let's get a talk sometime, Sarah, in the
Yes.
future.
Yep.
All right. So yes, yeah. Robert, you're hilarious. He goes, use the younger picture. Yeah. This is me in 1980 when I became a realtor. God, what was I saying? Oh, so we started to rebrand. Now, because of that, I'm thinking, okay, we're all going to have shirts that have the brand right here. so that there's your, remember what that lady, Katie, who visited with us last week, and she's been a guest speaker twice on this call. She said, always wear your uniform. Look at Colin. Colin, show us your name tag, right? So Colin's got his name tag on today. That's your uniform. It's wear something consistently that they start to always spot you. One of the ladies was saying that there's a guy that always wears a black polo with the logo of his company and his name tag right here, right? So that's what we're going to get for the team, so that we're all consistent, is you're going to wear something that has that logo here. And you know, maybe if it's cold out, we're going to even have hoodies with a big logo on the back and a little one up front and stuff like that. So consistency will really work. There's a lot to be said for always having a name tag on. You'd be surprised how many people will stop you. Real estate is still, and probably will be for many years, the sexiest subject going in the United States. The distractions, you know, politics, religion, you know, all of that different stuff. What did they used to say in the old days? Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. But the sexy thing right now is real estate. Everybody wants to talk about the value of their home, and the people that don't aren't aware of it. So you can bring it up with people when you're door knocking. You can even say it like you're having fun when you're talking to somebody who's washing their car. Well, most people don't think about real estate really until they're going ready to sell, but it's kind of in your face, right? Especially when your neighbor sells a house right across the street, kind of want to know, what did he get? Because mine is very similar. You know, that's a conversation you would have with an actual consumer. So it's important that you're mixing it up, and it's not thinking about anything as good, bad, right, or wrong. Please don't do that, because that will hold you up. Get ready, get set, get ready, get set, and there's never a pull the trigger or a go. And that is, you know, oh, I can't go sell real estate yet. I don't have a website, or I can't go I can't go door knocking yet because I haven't printed all these up. Stop. If in the absence of anything else, grab a bunch of business cards and start walking. Like, it's time to get business. And when people tell me they're hungry, I go, you're obviously not hungry enough, because you haven't done anything in 6 days. Or you did something on Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday went by and you didn't do another darn thing. I had a lady call me. She came by my house last Thursday, talked to her. I spent some time with her. I said, do this, 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 this. Couldn't reach her Friday, but Saturday bright and early, she said, I made 20 calls yesterday. I made 21 calls. I spoke to 8 people and left 10 voicemails. And then she said, I wrote 10 cards. Well, I called her back and I said, this is amazing, but you should have written 18 cards, because you spoke to 8 people and you left 10 voicemails. That's 18 people. They should have all received a handwritten note from you. So it's, like I say, it's very, very important. Now, I want to go back to what June said. If you don't love door knocking and you don't even want a door drop, okay, that's fine. Now we've got to move to something else. We're going to either move to calling. Now, there is the money, the costly stuff like marketing. I'm going to send a postcard, boom, 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 boom. Geographical farming is very consistent. We encourage people to send postcards every month, and start with the fewer number of homes so that you know you'll be able to afford it no matter what every month, so you never have to not do it. Consistency is everything in farming. However, if I was coaching you and you said, I want to be a farmer because I know people who are rich in real estate, literally rich, like boats, yachts, big houses, because they've been farmers for so long, is start with a number of homes that you can afford. Have a postcard go out every month, but complement it with another visit from you. If that happens, you're going to quadruple your results overnight, because now you're seeing them twice a month. Then you keep going until it's impossible to hit all those doors. Eventually you're going to get to 1,000. You're going to have 1,000 homes in your farm, or 2,000. And I shared with you guys about the Andy Allen, Aaron Lancaster group in Austin, Texas, who farms 60,000 homes a month. Okay. But they didn't start with that. If you hear the guy's story, he started with 500 homes. And then as they had money, they expanded. Now they're at 60,000 homes. And they're one of the top listing agencies as a team in the entire state of Texas. So just definitely something to think about. And if you just take the farming perspective because of the consistency of farming, and you apply it to any other kind of lead generation, you're going to be all good. Okay. What would the other kind be? Your top 50. All right. go to rgtresources.com. I put it in the chat earlier. And go to the, click on training, and then click on, when you click on training, you'll see click on Friday coaching call. I'm putting it back in the, I'm putting it back in the chat again, because if it came on the call after I put it in, it wouldn't be in your chat. And then go to the, click on training at the top, then click on Friday coaching call. And then when you go to that, there's all these booklets and downloads, but click on the one that says top 50 booklet. And that is another great method that, given consistency, will pay you huge dividends. And June, are you still on, or is she gone? That one.
No, I'm here, hon. Thank you. I'm here listening.
Yeah, so June, that one, there's no way in the world you'd be uncomfortable with that, but it takes the same blatant consistency. And that is where every one of us, me too, fails. All right. I told the story on yesterday or Tuesday to my team about Gina, my assistant, again, talking about her. She was the one who kind of was the impetus to me starting to do push-ups back in 2018. And I started with 20 a day, and I couldn't even do 20 at one time without stopping. And then I started adding 5 a month. So January was 20, February was 25, and I went on and on. And by the end of 2019, I think I started in 18. Yeah, I did. And by the end of 2019, I was at, I was doing 150 a day, and I had worked from barely being able to get 20 without stopping to getting to where I could do 80 without stopping, 80 push-ups without stopping. That was my record. And then I during COVID, not right in the beginning of COVID, but around September of COVID year, I stopped for some reason. I just started not doing it. My hip was bothering me. It was starting to be more painful. And I started just working out, doing my regular workouts, and I wasn't, after a little while, I couldn't do 20 again without stopping. So I started in June doing my push-ups again. I started this time with 40, couldn't do 40 without stopping. And I'm doing 2 kinds of push-ups now that work different parts of your chest. And so now I'm up to 45 a day. I started in June, July is 45, August will be 50 a day. So I'm starting to see the strength come back, starting to see more definition, but man, consistency, and then you stop. It was like all the years I was a consistent top producing realtor in my town of Fremont, California. And then I started speaking and coaching and opening up offices, and other people were getting that business, and my share of business in this town was dropping. And here I am again, getting calls from people because I went back to focusing on it. So consistency pays off. And when you stop being consistent, then it just, there's no staying the same, guys. You're either dying or growing. There's nothing, you're decaying or you're having amazing success. So anyway, that was what I really want to communicate to you guys today. I want to wrap up with a bow the whole door knocking thing by talking a little bit about what you would deliver, what you would drop off. We know there's a million things you can. I'm also a big fan of the title industry. Some of you may be in areas where you use attorneys, not title companies. I'm a title. I think our area is all title. I think most of you are in title areas. Use your title people to help you find success. Here's the people I listen to: title reps, home warranty reps, inspection companies. I talk to, of course, my lenders all the time. I love talking to lenders. They're talking to so many realtors that they hear things you won't ever hear. And I say, tell me what you're hearing that works, okay? And so those are the kinds of things you want to be doing to educate yourself, especially when it comes to getting business. Remember, title companies, mortgage people, home warranty people, they only succeed when you sell a house, and you only succeed when you sell a house. So bring them in as teammates. And they were my go-tos when I didn't have a team, when it was just me and a part-time assistant in the 90s. Man, those people stepped up, said, Rick, what about this? Or what about this? Or how can we help you? And then I started doing the same for them. When I was doing business plans for myself, I'd get together with all of my title, escrow, mortgage, everybody. And I'd say, come on, we'll all do our business plans together, and we'll talk about how we can help each other grow our business. So it's not anywhere near there, but starting in September, October, start thinking about, who do I want Like even my painter, the guy that I'd give to my painting jobs, I'd say, come on, let's meet at Starbucks and let's go over your business plan. He goes, Rick, I don't do business plans. I go, come on, I want to show you mine and show you how it'll help you. And on mine, he saw, give Tom Diaz 4 referrals this year. It was in there, which I'd written in just for that appointment. And then I'll say, Tom, see here on my goal is to give you 4 referrals this year. Can I ask you to make a goal of giving me 1 referral this year? Like I said that to him, to my painter. I said it to my my handyman. I said it to the guy I send for gardening and yard cleanup. I said, look, I got down to get you 4 referrals. All I'm going to ask you is there any way you can get me 1 referral a year? Because you guys know I'm going to make a buttload more money on 1 referral for them than they are going to be on 4 referrals from me. But, you know, so don't be ashamed. I've been, since I was 16 years old, right? That's going on 48 years. I've been using the same insurance agent for my car. So I remember it was only about 20 years ago, not at the beginning of my career. I noticed, man, he's like one of the top insurance agents around here. I don't ever get any referrals. So call him up and go, Rich, you know, we're coming up on, what did I come up? I said, we're coming up on 25 years of my business being with you. Well, let's go out and talk, man. Let's go have a Starbucks. So we went out, talked. And at the end of the talk, I go, man, you know, I love sending people to your office because your staff is so nice. They take care of them. And I go, I was wondering, do you ever have referrals, people thinking about selling or buying? He goes, you know, I do. And he goes, you know, I know a lot of realtors. I go, I know a lot of my realtor friends also insure with you. And he said, let me see what I can do to send you a referral. That year, because of that lunch, because of that coffee date, I got 3 referrals from him. You guys, people aren't thinking you as being as a realtor because their lives are busy too. So you got to remind them, keep reminding them. And do it in a nice way. Don't say, you don't give me one, I ain't giving you one. Well, I tell people all the time, look, I'm going to continue to refer you because I know you take great care of my people. And I'm not going to not refer you because I don't get referrals from you. But I do want to ask you, is there any way once in a while I could get a referral from you? There's nothing wrong with that. It's polite, right? It's not demanding. It's not tit for tat. It's not an ultimatum. Get what I'm saying? So how many of these conversations are you having? And this is the time to start doing it right now, July. And I'm not kidding. I'm not saying that because, oh, did you say that last month? I didn't. I'm saying this because you want to have the best second half you ever had. Start making it happen right this minute. Okay. If I smoked, I'd be having a cigarette right now, but I don't. Because I feel so good about what just happened. So. All right.
Rick, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, who was that?
Sabrina. Hi.
How are you? Where are you physically?
Yeah, Huntington Beach, California.
Oh, that's right. You told me last time. Okay, go
Yeah. And I have a question, because that was kind of high criticism to you to make you get your ugly sign out of the yard. How did you handle it? What did you do? Just so.
Called the sign company and said, how soon can you take that out? And it's so funny that you say that, Sabrina, because I have been freaking beat up by sellers this year. And a lot of it, I had so much of it happen when Gina was on maternity leave. And I thought to myself, every time it happened, I thought to myself, okay, is this something that wouldn't have happened if Gina were here, or is it a sign of a defect in our processes? Okay.
Yeah.
You can ask Gina. I am not a patient guy based on Gina and my wife. If you ask Gina and my wife, the 2 women who know and see me the most, they go, no, Rick is not patient. He's nice, he's kind, he's patient. But my wife said this to me last night. Quit talking to me like I'm a dumbass realtor that didn't read the confidential remarks. She said to me last night, I'm like that. I'm sorry, because I would say that. I'd say, you know, when people call you and ask you things that are right there in the confidential remarks, I would get very impatient about it, right, Patrice? So, but I've been really good this year at being really polite. People doing things that we've asked them not to do and stuff, and I'm just letting it slide. So I've been really growing this year in terms of listening to the criticism and saying this is a growth point in my journey. So we took that out. I ran it by my wife, and and Gina and Shauna, and everybody said, well, maybe we need to rebrand. And Cindy, my business partner that was on that listing with me, said the same thing. And we're so excited about what's coming out now that we went to somebody completely outside of the real estate industry to do the rebranding.
Or did you?
And she did such a wonderful job that I'm. Gina, is there any way you can show the new for sale sign, or we're not finished yet?
Say that again, Rick, one more time.
Is there any way you could share your screen and show them the new for sale sign?
Yes. Give me just a minute to pull it up.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, I'm super excited about it. We've got it's a round logo, and it's got RG and my main color. One of the things I was doing before, like right after it happened, before I got my wife and everybody involved, I started calling this company. Somebody is not on me. Who's not on me? I was doing some research and calling these companies I know in real estate that do amazing luxury high-end logos, and I talked to several of them. Most of the colors were white for luxury logos, white, black, gray, and those kinds of more distinguished colors, even a little red. So what I told them, I said, I love purple, and my logos over the last 5 years, even a little longer, have had purple in them. And I showed them some of my purple stuff, and they liked them. Here, I'll show you guys. Like this was Rick Jiha, Loving the Journey. See that? The Rick Jiha team. And showed them. And the sign was a little bit, now that I look at the sign, it was jumbled, it was cluttered. And anyway, so our color, our main color is going to be a deep royal like purple. And we're super excited about it. So, but anyway, like I said, there's so much that comes out of that. And Sabrina, thanks for asking. The lessons I've learned have been amazing. And she's sharing the screen. Oh, I'm so excited, so excited. Okay, there it is. So that's the new for sale sign right there. And that's another version of the for sale sign. So thank you, Gina. Oh, there it is. That's my favorite right there. See the circle, guys, with the scribbly lines around it and everything. I'm really loving that. So, okay. Thanks, G. All right.
You're welcome.
What's that? So you're not going to show your pecs? No, I'm not going to show my pecs. And I've only had pictures on my sign once in my life, and that's been the last couple of years. And when someone says, get your ugly ass sign on my lawn, I know my picture's coming off the sign permanently. So even if they didn't mean me. So, but we really feel good about that. We feel like it's classy. Thank you, Patrice. I appreciate the comment. So, all right. That's it. Anybody got questions, comments? Thank you, Sabrina, for being involved. Thank you, June. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, all of you guys, for your participation. And Vanessa, I hope the closing went well.
Yes, the probate 2 years later.
Oh, nice. All right, guys. Listen,
Question for Gina.
remember to send me emails and text messages about anything you need. And I'll look forward to seeing you guys on the call next Friday.
Thank you for your time.
My
Thank you
pleasure.
for your time.
Bye-bye.